But if any of those people were to license the database, this is how they resell it. So they can make a plan and select databases they want in the plan. So maybe this is a roofing person, and maybe the roofing person also happens to want home remodeling. So you can put together this package, name it unlimited roofing leads if you want, or say 100,000 roofing leads. Price it at maybe $2,000. So these are intent leads. So these are people looking for services relating to roofing. And you can make this plan. Maybe you charge them $2,000 and you can put in the amount of credits, so 100,000, and then you can decide, do you want those credits to be monthly or daily? So we'll just say monthly for now. So they'll get 100,000 lead for $2,000 every month. And then you can also control, is it an annual subscription or a monthly subscription? And there's two sets of data, right? There's right here and above. So we're looking at Naval Solar, Leads Insurance, B2B, B2C, homeowners. These were the original databases that I built myself over 4 or 5 years, update, and I keep track of. This is business owners who took an SBA loan that we skip trace to their personal contact. All the homeowners here are tax assessment records, and these are our databases we provided. These databases here are all part of the marketplace, where obviously we provide data to the marketplace too, but this is the big new feature that we have deployed since December 1st. Now, does that answer your question in terms of the scraping data and providing it?
Yeah, that does. One more question. If I wanted to pass data into a database that I've created, is there some sort of webhook or API that I could tap into to update a database like on the fly, or is it all manual?
Yes, but we would have to work with you strategically to figure out the ingestion rate and basically figure out what is the best solution, because there's you can get real time and pay more money, right? Just because, let's say there's traffic congestion and you don't really get an added value maybe. So okay, is it worth pushing in 6 hours later at 2 a.m. when it's cheaper? You know what I mean? So I mean there's those things we'll talk about, but yeah, it's all doable. I mean we just had a meeting with Go High Level for this. So I mean with very soon, probably in the next 7 days, you'll be able to push the list you saved to Go High Level, but we can only move 3 records a second. So that's 90 records a minute. So if you need to move 1,000 records, it's going to take about 12 minutes. And I do know Go High Level is going to be charging for faster ingestion rates. And we're working with them right now to figure out the right billing model.
Good. That was my next question.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I've been trying to educate a lot of people on, I mean, a lot of you have used Make and you use Zapier. So they did a good job of getting you guys to understand every time you move something between systems, it's a credit. And now with the ability for apps to be created so frequently, if you need data to go between 10 different apps, that's 10 different API calls. And theoretically, in Go High Level, that would cost a penny. But now if you're doing it thousands of times a day, I mean, like our system does about 7 million API calls a day just with everything that we've built, not to Go High Level, just everything together. So, I mean, there is a scalability factor that we're really trying to make people aware of, because that's where we get the 5,000 per minute that we let you resell, because we understand if we charge you $500 and you have 5,000 a minute, we're going to make a profit and not take down the system and risk ourselves. So
and generally, I'll add at this point in this conversation, we all would love to have that problem because it means you have a lot of customers and you're making a lot of money. And we're here to help create a bespoke solution or enterprise solution that solves for the scalability that you need. Not a problem. We've already worked out scenarios where we have a partner that's basically going to be deploying their own environment, which kind of resets their entire sort of customer base threshold. It doesn't cost them that much more than where they already are, because once you figure out 1 or 2 intent databases, then it makes more sense to just do 10 at 2,500 and cut the cost of all of them in half, right? Then you're completely cracked open your business opportunities. You have the process down about how you communicate intent data and how you're selling it and how you're helping your clients leverage it and maximize it. It makes more sense to just have more products to be able to sell across more industries. That brings your overhead down. And once you get there, then you've cracked open your potential addressable market and you can start onboarding like crazy. And there's not a big leap from that plan to running your own environment. The client we're talking about, it literally was 15 customers because they have high demand and they're paying a high ticket price. So he can afford it. It's no big deal.
Anyone that gets their white label set up to the point where you can take payments, we're making it apps and Go High Level. for you for a period of time. It's not going to be forever. I mean, I'm not charging anyone to do this. So we're trying to get everyone to take care of an industry that they're an expert in, like lead surge we were just talking about. Hers is on par, working great. So I have to redo the picture. Obviously, I messed up with the logo, but really that's what we're doing for everyone we can. I have Tim in here. He's getting his Stripe approved right now for gutterleads.com because he was a beast in gutters. He understands the market. He understands what people are looking for, and he understands how to sell to people who are actually installing the gutters, but also know how to do the sales themselves. They're a one-man shop, two-man shop, but they're able to do the full thing. So he's able to work with them, and it's very interesting. I would never sell leads at this price, right? 10 cents each is a lot, but obviously I sell more to wholesalers. So I'm not used to talking with people willing to pay 10 cents. And that's why this works. He's paying $500 a month for gutters and gutters. So he broke it into two different things. It's basically the same thing. People are going to ask what's the difference between gutter data and gutter filter leads. And he has an easier way to sell it in the words and the way that he chooses to. Now that $500 he spends, he's able to sell over and over and over again. As long as no one in his ecosystem downloads more than 5,000 records a minute, he has no problem. In the nerdiest of sense, it's like a quantum wave. Like you can't let the two waves get over 5,000 records a minute. If you do that, then your system's going to shut down, give you a blue screen of death, and tell you literally you're going to break your system. Like it's set up with no restrictions when we do it for the purpose of you're going to run a better business if you understand. And like that's just the basis of it. If you don't understand why things happen, it's like not being able to calculate your cost of flying a plane. If you don't know what the fuel costs, how do you make money? It's the same type of thing. You have to understand that because the data speed is the fuel. The data is not the fuel. It's the speed of the data transfer. That's where all the costs are incurred.
If you're starting to put so much pressure on the system that you're having these problems, you're going to know, and we're going to let you know, and we're all going to have a conversation and figure out a solution. But also, this is the mad genius and the elegance of what Brian has built and solved here, is that there is this sort of balance and application now of just how do we now help as many people as we can leverage this system and maximize this opportunity. We've worked together with list limits and things like that, basic communication. And my hope is that every white label gets so many clients that they just want to stand in their own hosted environment. And then they can play around with their own plans and different things for their clients and kind of reset the clock and take what they've built, bring that cost down and scale it even bigger. That's the perfect world. For now, I think it's pretty clear, it's pretty simple, and it's literally just about managing how many people you have logging on at one time, downloading data from the system.
Yeah, and I'll jump into this where any of the white labels have the ability to actually subdivide the list that's created. So that's where you'll see this find your audience section. This is going to be pre-built sections created so then your user doesn't have to keep filtering the same thing over and over and over again. So first common use case, zip codes. A lot of people have different ways they want to look up a city, but I know if I looked up West Palm Beach, Florida, I'd leave out Haverhill, Florida, which is West Palm Beach. It's just a little subdivision town. So what I preferably do is do it by postal code. If you have a little area, cities or states or postal codes you want to be in, you can pre-filter it for your user. So we'll pre-filter Florida. So now we're in the gutter database. We'll call it Florida. Gutter installation interest. And again, I'm trying to name it a bit more detailed because of that whole new dashboard 3. You are able to pre-build the data section for a user in your white label. So let's say Tim has someone that comes in. They don't want to have to search Florida every time, and they don't want to have to search homeowner. They don't want to put all these filters and income range. And let's just say that's the case. You could come in advance and actually pre-save it. So if your guy does a lot of emailing, you can make sure everything has an email by flipping that switch. And if you want to make sure everything has a skip trace wireless, and I've gone over that a lot, and if there's any questions, just ask. But the skip trace wireless performs the best. So we can flip this, and now every record will have a skip trace wireless. And when we pre-save it, when we create the list, the user now that you just really easily help them out. It would pre-build this list that was already there. But now the users won't have to actually go filter Florida and all those things. They have it pre-built here. I'm going to buy save list, test, type in 100, buy save, and it will now email out to the email that you have on file.
Yes, I came in a little late. I wanted to know how to get a targeted audience. Like I do ACA insurance. I wanted to find out how can I get that particularly.
You would go to the pricing page, and if you only wanted one specific intent, you would just pick this one and check out for the $4.99. And after you check out, you're going to get a pop-up that will take you to the support tickets. And in here, you can just type in the type of leads you want. So what is it that you do specifically? ACA. So then after you do this, it submits to us, and then it creates that fulfillment request. So it takes about 24 hours after you submit that message for you to be able to download it.